Where is our true landing place? And who is the I that would land there? Most of us in our culture are looking for a place to arrive, to land, to feel and recognize ourselves to be stable, secure in all moments, unconditionally. So this question is incredibly valuable to inquire into. And of course, this path of inquiry, if we are to be utterly satisfied with what we discover, is to be a path of experiential discovery and investigation, not an intellectual reorganization of information. So when we say, where is my true landing place? Or when will I feel that I have fully become satisfied, become fulfilled? We're looking to an experience to verify the answer. So if we look at the fact of experience that's available now, that there is experience, and our primary experience is of being. We are. There is an isness or ourness or beingness to ourself, to our experience. And immediately we can recognize that the presence of being that is intrinsic to what we call I, the isness that is inherent to the affirmation I am, is ever present, is stable, is where everything that appears temporarily lands and dissolves into. Every thought that arises, every sensation that appears, every perception that occurs to us has a temporary existence and inevitably dissolves into that which remains constant experientially. And that constance of presence, the presence of being, is that into which everything that appears dissolves. And so we could say everything that appears, every thought, every action, every decision, every movement of the body, the mind, and the cosmos inevitably dissolves into, lands into the presence of being. So the we that desire, the I that desires landing or finding its true landing place is a temporary, imaginary self composed of thought and perhaps associated with feeling that is looking for something that is the presence of being, which is already present, which is already the very substance and space in which it appears to exist. So that imaginary self will never find its true landing place. It will die or dissolve into its true landing place. It will not be there to recognize its true landing place. Only the landing place itself, the presence of being, is the one that will recognize I am the landing place. I am the only land that is, the only ground that is. The presence of being or the awareness of being, which are one and the same experientially, is the only ever-present presence that we experience. And the we that experience it are this presence of being. So it's this one presence of being that is the only land, the only ground that is available to experience. And the mind is arising and subsiding in this presence of being, in the awareness of being that we are. So we don't need to use the mind to get to where we already are as this presence of being, as the only land that is. We are already there. We are already that presence of being. So all that's required to answer this question, where is my true landing place, is to establish the truth experientially that the presence of being is all that we experience, and the I that experience only one presence of being is this presence of being itself. So we don't land on our being, we are already the land that is our being, the only land there is, the land upon which every thought exists, upon which every sensation exists, upon which every perception exists, upon which, in fact, the entire cosmological manifold exists. So simply recognize this land that you are already and see that the attempt to arrive on this land, and that would be a constellation of thought and activity, of thinking or acting, would be unnecessary for our being to already be itself. And there's no need to eradicate such an imagining of trying to land on our being or trying to find our true landing place. We are already there. So such a thought, like the thought 2 plus 2 equals 5, does not need to be eradicated in order to see the falsity of such a thought. Simply see that it is false from the perspective of the truth. That is the reality that only the presence of being is present, is the only land that is, and is aware of itself as ourself, as what we call myself. Myself is this one presence of being, the only land that is.